Have you centered?
I was in a rush.
All right, we got you centered.
The modern doctor is a sloppy typer.
Yes.
All right, everyone, pay attention. Hello, Rabbi Jack. How are you?
Hi, everybody. We're good?
Yep.
We can start?
Yes, we
Okay, great. So everybody should have gotten an index card. Does anyone not have one? Okay, and we have a limited amount of pens, so I'm going to ask you to share with your friend when you get a chance. I want you to think about this question and write it down, your answer on the card. Okay?
Okay, what's the question?
What does it mean that the Jews are the chosen people?
Chosen to do the dishes.
If that's your answer, you can write it down. Okay? Just write it down. I do this with my 5th graders. They're pretty good at...
That's like a complex question. It's a lot cheaper.
Okay?
I mean, that many
This is a
different
free
things,
write.
yeah.
Take it as you will.
The most basic.
I just want the most
Cards?
basic thoughts that come to your mind.
Where are they?
Take like a minute, and then we're gonna go around. You don't have to share if you don't feel comfortable, but at least we'll go around. You'll say your name and where you're from.
That one's dead.
Okay, take another 10 seconds. Did everyone get a chance? Anyone need a pen? Pass it around. Yeah, you need a pen? Yeah, it's been a while. Let me try this. Ooh. Okay, good. Just go. That was a miracle, by the way. That could have gone way worse. Okay. Let's try to make this quick and smooth. Just say your name, where you're from, and if you want to share what you wrote on your card. Okay? Let's start over here.
I'm David. I'm from Philadelphia originally, and I live on the west side now. And I wrote unique role. We have a unique role in the world.
Good.
People could probably elaborate on that. I'm sure
Yeah.
other people wrote that.
I am David. I am in
Wow.
Angor, New Jersey.
How many Davids do we have?
At least 2.
I'm also David.
At least 3.
Never.
Okay. You mentioned unique role. We're not individually that unique. But I'm David Schuster. I'm from Angor, New Jersey. About myself, I'm in neurology. I like hiking. I wrote that to be chosen, we must act with the integrity of role models.
Nice.
My name is Zach, originally from Buckeye State, Ohio, live on the Upper East Side. I said, we took the commitment of accepting the Torah and carrying out the laws that was bestowed to us by Hashem. So in a way, unique.
Nice.
We're not following that. Just kidding. That was good. I'm Rebecca. I am from Westchester, New York, except I basically live here now. Moved into MJ with me. And what was the other question? Aside from this, is there anything?
Oh, just where you're from. You said
Oh,
that.
okay.
You're
Yeah,
good.
I said that. Okay. I guess I noted we survived time after time again, and that allows us to grow stronger from our experiences, which then allows us to then share that knowledge with the population as a whole, and then we can all grow together.
Beautiful. Nice.
I don't know if that's cheesy, but.
Okay. Let's get the back row.
I'm Nicole from Queens.
Go for it,
We
Queen.
wrote down the simple answers that we were chosen to fulfill the Torah and given the opportunity.
But I also once heard that like we're not the chosen people, we're the choosing people. Like we chose that, we were given an opportunity, and we said yes to it.
Nice. Where'd you hear that from?
It's a great question. So much.
Okay, cool.
Daniela, I'm from Argentina. Not living here, staying here for 2 months. And
Mucho gusto.
forever something similar. I also like make a home for them here in this work. And also to be like the main characters of the story.
Right.
Very main characters. And I think that people are Hashem's main characters here.
Very nice. Welcome.
I'm Neil. I'm from New Orleans. I'm actually I'm visiting for work here.
Nice.
I was pretty transparent. I wrote I don't know.
Beautiful.
It's
It's raw and from the heart.
I'm here after the end of this meeting. I'll have better.
Great.
Adam, Muncie area, live on the west side. I wrote that we chose Torah.
We chose. Flip it on its
That's
head.
right.
And that's what somebody else said. Not such a novel.
Yeah.
But thank you for pretending. It's not much, but
My name is Hani, and I'm from South Africa. And I wrote that we have a responsibility to be the vessel for Hashem's love as well.
Nice.
I'm David. I'm from Seattle. And I said that being chosen means chosen for the purpose of following the commandments.
Thanks.
All right, I am the fourth David. I grew up in Queens. I lived in the Miami area for about 4 years, and I just recently moved back a few months ago. Just wanted to say that, as always, it's a pleasure to be Rabbi Jack's class, and it is the highlight of my week, and I look
For sure.
forward to it every time. What I wrote is that we were, quote unquote, air quotes, chosen to do the dishes. What do I mean by that? See, a lot of non-Jews sometimes say that we're the chosen people with an air of jealousy, right? It's like, oh, you guys think you're the chosen people and that you're better than everyone else. I think we were chosen to carry a lot of responsibility and chosen to do a lot of chores, which is not a bad thing because the quote-unquote dishes that we wash bring light into the world. And you know, it said, I'm not exactly sure where it said, you could tell me, that we were brought here to be a light upon the nations. Which is a chore. It's a difficult thing to do, but it's a very, very good thing. Just like doing the dishes. Doing the dishes is a chore. It's not fun, but it's a very good thing.
Could be fun.
It could. You have to be a very special person to have fun doing the dishes.
Really?
You might have 2 sets of dishes.
Need a good podcast.
No, you put on the music.
So I think we were chosen to carry a lot of responsibility, and many are jealous at our label of the chosen people, but they should not be, because for a non-Jew, it's much easier for them to get into heaven than it is for us.
Okay, maybe we'll talk about that. Cool, David. Natan, what did you write?
I wrote that chosen it meant blessed with this sort of like innate abilities that make people special or unique from someone who's not chosen, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's my turn?
Yes, your
Hi,
turn.
Maria from Honduras as well. And I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm not sure what to say, so let's continue.
Just
with
say
you.
one small thing.
I just feel like we got a big responsibility, and like Hashem believe us that we can do it. Like it's not easy to be Jewish, so
Beautiful.
I don't know how to like.
That's
You
perfect.
said it. Perfect.
Okay, thanks.
Jared?
I'm Jared from New Haven, Connecticut. I now live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. So I wrote this. Hashem chose Israel, other gods chose other nations. In antiquity, all people were chosen by their respective gods. And if you actually look at the 5 books of Moses, in antiquity, other gods exist. It's just that Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is the most powerful of them. Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan says that God chose Israel like a spouse. That doesn't mean that other people are bad, but that Israel is special to him. So in a sense, everyone else in antiquity was also a chosen people, be they like the Phoenicians or the Assyrians or the Egyptians, but other gods chose them. But we're the only ones that remained alive with that terminology.
I would like to add something to that, was that
All right, that's not a topic.
I
We're
don't
gonna
think
keep
they're
going.
other gods.
We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going, David.
Powerful beings, not gods.
So that's how you translate Elohim?
We'll go to your class next,
Okay.
Like Elohim Acherim?
Yes.
Noah, go ahead.
That's interesting. I'm Noah from New Jersey, from Demarest. I also wrote responsibility, as in we have a duty to transmit our morals, our traditions, and to live well in the ways that we know how, and to make the world a better place.
Beautiful. Okay, I'm Jack, and I wrote, again, initial thoughts, chosen, responsible for the destiny of the world. That's what I wrote. So it's very interesting. So great. Thank you for all partaking in that exercise and indulging me in that. I noticed most of you were saying that chosenness has to do with you were chosen for a certain mission or task or responsibility, right? Very few of you, if any of you, said that it means that you are innately special, right? Did you notice that? Which is interesting, right?
That's meritocracy.
What's that?
That's meritocracy.
You're saying what everyone was saying, or the responsibility.
Meritocracy is what you do. It's not who you are.
That's what I'm saying.
Based
It's
on-
that meritocracy is saying that like you are somehow special based on certain characteristics that you have. Whereas being chosen doesn't mean that you are special. It just means that you are separated.
Okay, interesting.
I would use meritocracy to explain that everyone who's saying that the chosenness is related to your purpose is saying that you only are special if you're just innately in you or innately existing.
Right, I always was under the impression of that as well, that meritocracy comes from the word merit, so meaning your success is dependent upon how well you are successful and progressing. And if you're not progressing, if you're not taking on what we'll call here responsibility, so maybe you won't have merits. You won't be successful. But I just wanted to point it out. We don't have to get into the nitty-gritty details. I'm just pointing it out. It's worth knowing that there is one very prominent Jewish thinker named Rabbi Yehuda Halevi. Okay, he was a poet. He was very artistic. And he was of the impression that the Jew was a different creation. The Jew, at the same way we have, there are different categories of creation that the thinkers talk about, right? There's domain, which is like inanimate objects, and then you have tzomeach, which is like vegetation, and then you have chai, which is a little bit more life, that's like animals, and then you have a medaber, which is actually, that's the word that Jewish thinkers have traditionally used for a human being, is the medaber, which means, anyone know? Medaber, ledaber,
Speaker.
the speaker, right? That's how most thinkers thought of, categorizing all of creation. And Jews were a part of medaber. They were just like any other human being. They're Jews. They bleed the same. They have the same brain. They have the same tongue. They have the same faculties. Rabbi Judah Halevi said, there's a fifth category, and that is the Jew. The Jew is a different creation altogether. Different creation altogether. It's not the standard approach, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So the chosenness of the Jew, where do we find it? Why am I bringing it up? Because it's relevant to the Torah portions that we're reading now. We just restarted the Torah. We're in the book of Genesis. Anybody celebrate Simchat Torah? We dance with the Torah. We kiss the Torah. And now we're starting fresh. We're starting fresh. So even if you didn't jump on the bandwagon yet in getting to learn and study the weekly Torah portion, we're still pretty early. We're only a couple portions in right now into the book of Genesis. And it's fascinating because we have two selections in the book of Genesis. Really, all of Genesis is really like a refining and sifting through different people and getting to, ultimately, the progenitors of the Jewish people. Right? We start with Adam and we go through the generations, Adam to Noah. And Noah, we know, is chosen. Right? Noah is selected amongst all the people of his time to enter into, right, to build an ark and to go into it and start humanity anew. And the Torah fascinatingly says why he was chosen. Right? I don't have the sources for you. Sorry, technical difficulties. But the Torah says, Noach ish tzadik tamim haya bedorotav. Noah was a righteous person. Noah was a righteous person. The tzaddik is in Hebrew. Tzaddik means he did what was right. He did like David was saying, he did the chores. He did the chores. So it would make sense why God chose him, right? The Torah says he was a good person. He was a righteous person. He gets chosen to be the one to continue on this mission, this destiny of the original human being, Adam. And then you go down the generations, right? Noah gets in the ark, and God floods the world, starts anew. And then Noah ends in actually degradation. Noah actually, how the Torah ends off with Noah. It's not so pretty, right? He gets drunk. It's like the first thing he does when he exits the ark. He plants a vineyard. He gets drunk. That's the last we hear of Noah, right? And then the sages teach us that there are 10 generations going from Noah all the way to Abraham. And in between, we have what we call the Dor HaFlaga, this generation that rose up. They wanted to build a city, a mighty city, a technologically advanced city with a tower reaching up to heaven. You know the story? And then God sees it and he says, nope, not happening. Poof. They all start to speak different languages. They wanted to rebel. Idolatry was rampant. And then finally, we arrive at a man named...
Abraham.
What?
Abraham.
Abraham? Is that right? We agree? Close. Abraham.
Oh.
Abraham. He started, right, without the hey, without the H. He started as Abraham. And you'd expect, right, this is the guy. This is our great-great-granddaddy. This is the one that set the ball in motion. He was the one that finally God had found the one he'd been looking for. How does it start? Vayomer Hashem el Avram, lech lecha me'artzecha. Right? God says to Abraham, go for yourself from your land, from your birthplace, from your family, and go to the land that I'm going to show you. And I'll make you there into a great nation. I'll bless you. I'll make your name great. You're going to be famous. The Jews are famous, for better or worse. Vayeh bracha, you'll be a blessing. Ve'avarechecha mevarechecha, I'll bless those who bless you. I'll curse those who curse you. And all the nations of the world will be blessed through you. Right? Fascinating. That's a little bit of Avram's mandate, right? Right? It's clearly God is selecting one person, but it has global consequences. Right? That's ultimately all the nations of the world will be blessed through you. What's missing though? We don't know a darn thing about the guy. The Torah doesn't say anything about him. Right? At least Noah, okay, he was a tzaddik. He was a righteous person. We don't know so much about what he did. There's nothing about Abraham. Nothing. Why? Nothing. So fascinating. This is one of my favorite Maharals. Maharal was a great Jewish thinker in Prague. You could go visit his synagogue in Prague. Anyone been there?
Yeah, I have.
You've been there. You've been there. You've been there. They say, legend has it that in the attic of his synagogue is still the first golem of the Maharal's time that he made. You know what a golem is? He basically took this work of Kabbalah, of Jewish mysticism that talks about the secrets of creation, and he created basically an AI clone. Before AI, this is before, right? This is way before. You could go check it out for yourself. See if it's there. Yeah. You have a question? Yeah.
All the stuff that we know about Abraham from the beginning, before he's told to leave his homeland, is that not in the text, or is that
None of it's in the text, right? But very good. What's your name again? Nicole is alluding to the fact that there are all of these stories that we have about who Abraham was. How he was an iconoclast. He chucked all of his father's idols, right? You know the famous story, one day he had to watch the shop because it's a family business, the idol selling shop. And one day he goes and he smashes all his father's idols. And so his father gets home at the end of a long day. Mind you, Avram is like 3 years old at the time. This is what the story says. The legend has it. And dad gets home. He said, what the heck happened? What happened to my store? What happened? So Avram says, what do you mean? That idol over there got mad at that idol over there. He ate his deli sandwich. So he took a hammer and he smashed him. And his father goes, what are you talking about? These idols are stone. They're nothing. So Avram said, so why do you worship them? Why are you selling them? He's a wise guy, right? The rabbis teach this was when he was 3 years old. He was already thinking this. And we know there's another story about how Avram got caught by King Nimrod. Nimrod was the king, the emperor of the entire Mesopotamia of the time. And he was a big believer in idol worship. And Avram was really, really disrupting his society. So he wanted Avram dead. So he took Avram and he chucked him into a fiery furnace. And miraculously, God saved him. He was not consumed by the fire. Very nice stories. They speak to Avram's courage, to his resoluteness, to his commitment. None of it's in the text.
Yeah.
None of it's in the text.
Are these part of all? They're like 10 tests, right? Is that part of or each of these tests one?
So those stories that we just mentioned, some commentators do mention them as part of Abraham's 10 tests. But back to this. So why was Avram chosen? Meaning, why doesn't the Torah say it? Right? Why would the Torah not say it? Especially we could emulate it, right? Meaning if Avram was chosen for a particular reason, so shouldn't we try to be like that? So see what the Maharal says.
Is it more important to be like the Abraham after he was chosen?
Okay.
That you can be chosen for a task, but then what is more important is how you fulfill it.
Oh, interesting.
And we are not starting from a virgin position, with young in a class asking, will we be chosen? We have been chosen, and so now need to modulate and emulate the pious and reverent Abraham afterwards. And what came before is essentially irrelevant.
Interesting. So my only question on that is, so why Abraham?
Yeah.
Meaning God could have chosen that guy. He could have chosen Joe.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
What matters is that he was chosen and he rose to the occasion.
Okay. So meaning God basically, he did one of those raffles with all the ping pong balls, which had all these people from the society, and he rolled it around, and he took out the ball that came out. Oh, Avram, we're giving it to you.
He's just saying we don't know the reason. It's not that it was.
Or there was you're saying there was a reason. We just don't know it.
Think of it as a political election. Senator, president, etc. There are many reasons why someone might be elected, but the reasons why he was elected go away the moment he assumes office. Because then he's being judged on the job that he performs and not on the resume that he brings.
Love it. I really like that answer.
I think he was one of the only people who believed in God. So Shem, who was Noach's son, Shem had a yeshiva, right? That was in the Medrash, right? So that was his job. Shem's job, he had to take care of the yeshiva. He couldn't go around as a nomad from place to place and bring people closer to God. So even though Shem would have been great for the job, he already had He had his yeshiva.
Shem was set. Shem
Right,
was
he was
set.
set. He had his
Okay.
yeshiva.
You guys know Shem? Shem was one of Noah's 3 sons, who apparently also knew about God and taught about God, but it wasn't. He was in his own corner. He wasn't ready like Abraham to go out. I want to share with you what the Maharal says. The Maharal says something fascinating. We know there's a concept that of conditional love and unconditional love, right? What's conditional love? Conditional love is,
Doesn't make sense.
you know, you're really pretty, or you're very handsome, or you make me feel nice, or you're very kind, right? These are reasons why you might love somebody, right? Okay, they're very superficial reasons. Maybe we could go deeper. But those are reasons. But what happens when that reason is gone? When it's no longer there? Are you still going to love the person?
Well, if you love
Are you still
someone
gonna love the
because
person?
They're kind and they're no longer kind. I don't think you can blame the person for not loving them anymore.
We're not talking about, we're not judging. We're just saying, right? You're probably not right if I love you, David, because you record my class every single week, right? And that's why I love you. I'm just kidding. This is an example, right? Okay? But one week you say, Jack, you know, it's a schlep to get this tripod and this, it's just, I can't figure it out. I'm just going to stop, I'm going to stop bringing it. I'm going to say, David, you can't come to my class anymore. That's it,
Oh my
right?
God. I would probably
Right?
cry.
That's what we call an ava. I'm just kidding. This was just kidding. Ava shetluya badavar is what it's called in Hebrew, right? That's a love that's dependent. It's literally, it means hanging. It's hanging on something. The picture is hanging on the wall. It's hanging on that reason. So the second that reason is gone, no more love. Fascinating what the Maharal says. Why did God purposefully leave out the reason? So the Maharal takes a different approach to you, David. I really liked your approach. We could talk about it more. Maharal says it was all the reasons that we spoke about. It was all the stories that we mentioned. The idol, the icon, he was an iconoclast, and he found God, and he was teaching about God, and he was a righteous person. He cared about chesed and kindness and bringing people closer, making people feel comfortable. But the reason why it was left out was because ultimately Abraham was going to be the father of a nation, a whole nation. And this is already alluded to in the text, right? You're going to be a father of a great nation. And there's going to be kids, descendants, that live long after Abraham, right? That's you and me, right? And if we put in the Torah, right, the reasons, right, like Noah, Noah was a tzaddik, and he believed in God, and he was a righteous person. If that was in the Torah, a Jew might come along and think that their chosenness is because of that reason. Because my great-grandpa Abraham was like this, that's why I'm chosen. So if I don't have those qualities, if I am super distant from God, I have nothing to do with God, right? And I'm not really such a giver, and I like to keep to myself, and I'm not really interested in, being I'll be an okay person, but not being like a great person, like a Jew might mistakenly think that they're not chosen. So says the Maharal, that's why there's no reason. Specific reason in the Torah about the choosing of Avram to teach us, to teach his children, that it is an ava, what we call she'ena tluya badavar. It is a love that is unconditional. The chosenness of the Jewish people is always, in all circumstances, in all times. That's point number one that I wanted to bring out tonight. Point number two I wanted to bring out tonight, which I advertised to get some people to come, is Judaism racist? Are we racist? So I think already, based on all your answers that you gave, maybe the I don't know, and I'm not so sure, but that has nothing to do with racism, right? It has nothing to do with being better, we were chosen by God because we are innately better than everybody else. It's obviously not true. And I want to show you a responsa from a great rabbi of our time. His name was Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky. You've heard of him? He lived in. I know his son lives in Philadelphia now. His son is still alive and is a great Torah scholar and the head of a big yeshiva in Philadelphia. I don't know if Rabbi Yaakov is also from there.
He lived in Muncie. He lived in Toronto.
Okay, Rabbi Yaakov.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he has this famous piece. I just want it's good ammo to put in your pockets, I think. Okay. So he was addressed this question: is Judaism racist? So he said, "Be'emes." I'm going to read in Hebrew and then I'll translate. Be'emes b'dorenu, in our generation, ra'enu she'ar Germanim yemach shemam. So he's talking about the Germans. Tainazu abba gadol me'avicha. They had this claim that we, the Aryans, are better than any other race. We are better than any other race. Ela she'im omrim shegam Yisrael toanim she'im hageza meshubach bioser. Right, and then they had this. I don't know if this is exactly the model in which the hatred brewed, but that, and the Jewish people also they claim that they're the best race. And they brought a proof from our prayers. We say every holiday, every significant holiday, we say Ata b'chartanu mikol ha'amim. We say, you, God, selected us from amongst all the nations. So that was actually one of the proofs that the Germans brought. This nation thinks they're better. They don't know their place. They need to be put in their place. Aval hatshuva etzleinu, the truth is by us. Ushevadai kulanu b'nei adam harishon. The truth is when Jews look at the world, we need to look at it like this. We are all children of Adam. We all come from the same source. Ella, She'ha'avot hishtalmu v'yit'alu kol kach. It happens to be our family, going back to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. They refined themselves. They elevated themselves. They took, somebody said it already, right? Chosenness is me choosing. Fascinating. Who said that? What? That's so nice. You're pointing at each other. It's beautiful. You're choosing each other. Right. Chosenness is we have chosen. We have chosen God. That's what our family members did. They chose God so much so. Shehinenu kimin acher legamre. Shekol she'ein bo gimel simanin. They were so refined. There's actually a passage in the Talmud that if you meet a Jew that doesn't have these three qualities, you have to be suspicious if they're actually Jewish. You've heard this before? What are the three qualities?
Mercy.
You'd think it's not one of them actually.
Being
you would
mean.
think, yeah.
Being mean.
Right.
Very judgmental.
Okay, so you have, if that's all the Jews you're thinking of in your life, you gotta look into their history. It's Rachmanim, they're compassionate. They are Gomlei Chasadim, right? They give. Not only are they compassionate, but they actually do kindness. They do good things. And number 3 is they're Baishanim. They're sensitive, right? They're sensitive. They're modest.
Merciful, modest, and perform.
Oh, you found it. You just learned about it?
Yeah, we just.
Oh, you just did it.
Yeah.
Perfect. I didn't plan this. I promise. I didn't plan this at all. Right? So it's almost like the same way that there's physical DNA, there's spiritual DNA too. Right? That you, as a Jew, you have genes from your great grandparents that worked on themselves so much so and connected themselves so much so that they passed those genes down to further generations. Right? Halalu eino rayu lidabek ve'umazu. Right? Okay, fine. So the truth is, it's an interesting approach. He's saying we have certain traits. We do have certain traits to us, but the truth is that anybody that would theoretically want to accept upon themselves the mitzvot and the Jewish way of life, or the mitzvot, they're connectors to God. That's what a mitzvah is. Right? That is what the Jewish life is. That is what halacha is we live with the presence of God in our life, in everything that we do. That's what the Torah is, that's what the mitzvah is. And anybody that chooses to accept upon themselves that, the same way the Avos did, right? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they chose it, right? But it could have been anyone. It could have been Bob or Joseph or anybody. They chose it. And therefore, anybody that chooses this kind of life, lo to'anim shegazanu meshubach yoter kilu anachnu miyuchadim eteva. It's not that we're naturally better. We have the same way everybody is, you're more inclined to be a little bit smarter, but you still have to exert some effort. You still have to work hard a little bit. You can't fully rely on your IQ. You can't fully rely, if you're muscular and tall, you can't fully rely on that. You're going to be a good basketball player.
He says we don't have a unique
nature.
So
he says it's actually like a blend. It's actually a little bit of both. That there are certain proclivities that we have because of who our ancestors are. But that doesn't mean that we're better. That doesn't mean that we're off the hook and now we're better. It means, okay, you have certain, traits that you can work and cultivate, and it might come a little bit easier.
He says the teva is not different.
Right? He doesn't say, right, we're different human beings. That's not it.
That's interesting. I have a question.
Yeah.
That between different generations, Noah and Abraham, maybe there was some chosen people. And
There were some. And the Rambam talks about it. There were some people. It's interesting what happens to them. I know there's a verse that says Chanoch walked with God, and now he's no longer here. It's fascinating. You find that in the Torah, right? And Metushelach also walked with God, and then you don't hear anything about him. It's interesting what happens to them. They could have been Abraham, yeah. But again, so whoever wants to pick up the mantle, gesund to hate, it's all yours. Take it. You want 613 mitzvot, right? You want that? Take it, right? You want to live a life with God consciousness. With there's a famous pasuk. It's how the code of Jewish law begins, right? Shiviti Hashem lenagdi tamid. The Shulchan Aruch, the code of Jewish law, says that is the pasuk that every Jew lives with, or trying to live with. I place God in front of me always. I live in the presence of God. You want that life, you can do it. We accept converts, right? We still think we're selected because we came from people that chose that already. And we're lucky, we're privileged to have been born into that a little bit. But that doesn't mean that, the next person off the street, they see it, they want it, they can get it. Go get it. Right? And this is the life, he says, beautifully, he says that this is the life where a person, Adam, can connect themselves to their creator, mizdabek bo, and attach themselves. Anybody that wants to join, old Torah, you want to take on the mantle of the Torah, of the Jewish way of life, you can do it. And that's how Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky explained Judaism is not racist. Right? Racist is we are fundamentally better. You are inferior. That's not our approach to humanity. And again, I think we're chosen to also show, like David said, or lagoyim. We're meant to show people, show humanity that you can do this too, right? I once heard a beautiful line, right? We were chosen to show everybody else how they're chosen too, right? And that's the responsibility of the Jewish people. It's a big responsibility, like washing the dishes, but that's our unique destiny in the world, and people hate us for it. It's hard to be the moral compass of the world. Who likes the moral compass when you want to spend all day doing other things? But that's our job. That's our mission. That's who we are. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. You can keep your cards, or I'll collect them, whatever you like.
I think we talked about a few weeks ago about how much Jewish people are
Make them part of the
other
permanent
movements
exhibit.
and supportive of other movements of all different races, and how we usually jump in and give that support. It's interesting to think about too.
You're saying like what's an example?
I'm trying to think of what was said. I'm blank. Sorry, my mind right now, but
It's late. It's
yeah.
late.
Like Uganda and Rwanda.
just like all of, like we're always the first. to
Saying like the
communicate
Haiti
charity.
earthquake.
Yeah, like I
Israel
feel like
was
we're
there
constantly
and-
trying to support in some way, but I can't speak for Jewish people as a whole either. Like I feel like that's also kind of like I think the people who follow the principles and want to do better, right? I think we can't say everyone, just like we can't say generalize for anyone. But I do believe like within us there is the ability. Doesn't mean that everyone follows it, unfortunately.
I think Christian, the more connected you are to the source, the more likely
Yeah.
you are to be practicing in that way. So people who have been disconnected from kind of our like code of ethics in our rule book, then they're just missing that, but it's within them, and probably if they were drawn from it,
Then they'd be able to do, yeah.
Could you wish our online viewers a good luck?
Online viewers, we love you. Come in person. We want to see you. Have a great night.
Every Wednesday.